Hey polar bears, I'm so glad to see you again, and welcome to story time, by the way. Today's story is going to be from my big book of Frog and Toad, the Storybook Treasury by Arnold Lobel. But first, we can't do that yet because I have something to show you. I'm so excited, I just can't contain my excitement. I have some new babies at my house. I'd like to introduce you to them. Here they are. Yeah, they are babies because I just planted some seeds, and I'll tell you what kind of seeds I planted. I planted some flower seeds called marigolds. These are beautiful, puffy, orange and yellow flowers. And I planted some herbs. That's these beautiful basil leaves. I'm going to use it in some fresh pesto, maybe a banh mi or something, chicken Thai basil, stuff like that. And so as soon as these seeds get to growing here, I'm going to have some plants and I can introduce you. Right now they're little babies, but any minute now they're going to pop up and I can, hopefully they'll say hello. So, nothing's happening, Lucille. Seeds start growing. Seeds start growing. Nothing's happening here. Seeds start growing. Oh, how embarrassing. You know what? Maybe these seeds are too scared to grow because I'm yelling at them. Let me see. I'm thinking, maybe I could read them a poem. How about that? Okay, I'm going to give it a try. Let's see what we have over here in the books section. The broom, the shovel, the poker, and the tongs, they all took a drive in the park. They each sang a song, ding-a-dong, before they went back in the dark. That didn't seem to work. Maybe if I play some music for the seeds, that should work. Here's my violin right next to me. How handy. That didn't work? Well, you know what? Maybe I'll just set them over here. Maybe they need a nap before they pop out. Let's go ahead and get to our story over here, and hopefully something will happen, the story. There's so many in here. Which one should I read? This one looks good. It's called The Garden. The Garden. Frog was in his garden, and Toad came walking by. "What a fine garden you have, Frog," he said. "Yes," said Frog, "it's very nice, but it was hard work." "I wish I had a garden," said Toad. "Well, here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground," said Frog. Now that's quite a coincidence. I was just talking to some seeds that I happen to plant, and that's what's going on in this book. Interesting. "And soon you will have a garden." "How soon?" asked Toad. Yeah, I need to know too. "Quite soon," said Frog. "Oh, good. I guess Toad's seeds will come up quite soon, and so will mine." Toad ran home and he planted the flower seeds. "Now, seeds, start growing." Toad walked up and down. The seeds did not start to grow. I know how he feels. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, "Now, seeds, start growing." Toad looked at the ground again, and the seeds did not start to grow. I know how he feels. That must be kind of frustrating. Toad put his head very close to the ground. "Now, seeds, start growing!" Frog came running up the path. "What is all this noise?" he asked. "My seeds will not grow," said Toad. "You're shouting too much," said Frog. "Those poor seeds are afraid to grow." "My seeds are afraid to grow?" asked Toad. "Of course," said Frog. "Leave them alone for a few days and let the sun shine on them and let the rain fall on them, and soon your seeds will start to grow." Oh. Why didn't you tell me, Lucille? That night, Toad looked out of his window and "Drat!" said Toad. "My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark." Toad went out to his garden with some candles. "I will read the seeds a story." See, that was a good idea of mine, wasn't it? Said Toad. "Then they will not be afraid." Toad read the seeds a long story in candlelight. All the next day, Toad sang songs to his seeds. And all the next day, Toad read poems to his seeds. That seems like a good thing to try, right? And all the next day, Toad played music for his seeds. Hey, what a coincidence! Look who else plays the violin. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not start to grow. "What shall I do?" cried Toad. "These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole world." You know what I mean? "What shall I do?" Then Toad felt very tired and he fell asleep. "Toad, Toad, wake up," said Frog. "Look at your garden." Toad looked at his garden and little green plants were coming up out of the ground. "At last," shouted Toad, "my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow. And now you will have a nice garden too," said Frog. "Yes," said Toad, "but you were right. It was very hard work." The end. Well, you know what? I think I learned something from that story. First of all, the first thing I learned was that it's hard to wait. But can I handle it? Sure I can. And I think if I put these in a nice sunny window and or maybe take them outside, let the rain fall on them, I too will have some little sprouts, and then I will make sure to show them to you polar bears. I'm pretty excited to have a garden of flowers and basil. All right, well, I'm going to go put these seeds in the sunny window for their nappy naps, and I will see you polar bears very soon.